Yesterday afternoon, Monday afternoon, the orange ape let loose with, I think, his first White House address since all of this started, actually. But his first address since the murder of George Floyd in Minneapolis, the precipitating event, although there have been so many precipitating events. I feel like a fool labeling the murder of one American of color as a precipitating event, but I guess that's what it was. So the orange ape came out Monday night after all the chaos and madness that we've experienced. And he somehow imagined, this is Jennifer Rubin writing at the Washington Post, somehow Trump imagined that it was a good idea to unleash law enforcement on peaceful demonstrators before the 7 p.m. curfew. That's when he stepped into the Rose Garden to give a knockoff version of Nixon's so-called law and order message. Some of you are old enough to remember that bullshit. Trump stopped just short of declaring martial law. As a matter of fact, when I listened to it, I thought, well, here it comes. This is what this son of a bitch has been waiting for. This is what Vladimir Putin is just rolling through the Kremlin, toasting his gangsters with as much vodka as a little fucker can get down, congratulating Trump on the damage he's done to this country. My God. Trump, this is the same bastard who called NFL protesters peacefully taking a knee. Remember, he called them sons of bitches? He lied when he declared that he's a friend of peaceful demonstrators. The police who were firing rubber bullets and launching tear gas at protesters at Lafayette Square in front of the White House proved Trump to be the lying son of a bitch that he is. And then, as Jennifer Rubin writes, as if the scene was not evidence enough of his desire to raise the level of violence, he said he would deploy the U.S. military on U.S. soil against U.S. civilians if governors did not heed his incendiary advice to fill the streets with National Guard troops. God damn. And then this pig bastard made a big deal about walking to St. John's Church, which is very near the White House, which, yes, horribly was vandalized the other night. And you can goddamn well be sure it was not about people who are seeking peace and justice. But Trump had to have his big display, oh, I'm going to go to church and talk to a higher authority, to satisfy his blood-soaked, fucked up Christian base. It was later revealed, Rubin writes, that Trump instigated the assault on protesters specifically to make a gesture of walking to St. John's Church. This man has taken the message of the rabbi from Nazareth, Jesus of Nazareth, and perverted it and twisted it to something evil and ugly and vile and hate-filled. He, and along with these goddamn so-called Christians who would piss in Jesus' face if they had a chance, because everything Jesus said is against what these bastards advocate and what Trump advocates. This is so beyond sick. Jennifer writes, nothing could be more representative of the dangerous narcissism of a president in over his head, resorting to threats of violence against a country he ostensibly is supposed to lead. The deliberate instigation of violence for his own photo op so he could walk to church. should tell all of us, not just Americans, but the whole world, how deeply twisted and deformed this son of a bitch is. The stunt obviously was designed to play to the most rabid white evangelicals, the real sick fuckers, who inexplicably have always seen themselves, not African Americans, not immigrants, not people of color, but these white evangelicals who are such victims. Oh my God, we are such victims. We have to allow insurance companies to provide birth control to our employees if they ask for it. Oh, we are such victims. So Trump's invocation of a religious institution, St. John's Church, to justify an assault on peaceful protesters was, as Jennifer Rubin puts it, as great an abuse of religious symbols as anything Trump has done. Surely he never heard of "Blessed are the peacemakers" passage from the Christian Bible. He doesn't worship peacemakers, this pig. He worships instruments of brute force. Jennifer writes, moreover, any attempt to use the military against civilians in this fashion would almost certainly be illegal and unconstitutional, even under the Insurrection Act. Federal troops would have to be invited into the states to suppress an actual rebellion. But for Trump, the threat of force, however unrealistic, is his go-to move when his manliness is called into question, as it was when he fled to the bunker at the White House over the weekend, like a little squirrely little fucking coward that he is. I added that last part. Jennifer Rubin didn't write that. But she does write this. If anyone in America has any doubt as to his intentions, which are to foment violence, to increase racial animosity, to glorify himself at the expense of the national good, if anybody has any doubt about this, yesterday's events should silence them. I'm sorry. Yesterday. What the hell day is this? I guess this is Monday, right? Yeah. Okay. Today's events. I'm sorry. Jesus Christ. Tuesday's events. Tuesday. I'm sorry. I'm really losing it, I swear to God. Jennifer goes on, Democrats and any Republicans with a modicum of decency should denounce the stunt that he pulled. They should call for a full review of the incident and conduct congressional oversight. Jennifer Rubin, those days are gone. They're gone. As long as the Republicans are in control of the executive branch, the Senate, and have a strong voice in the House. Those days are gone. But Jennifer goes on, we hope a strong bipartisan assembly of elected officials joins the protesters at the White House, and that one or more civil rights groups will file suit for use of excessive force and deprivation of the peaceful protesters' right of assembly and free speech. You are either for Trump or you are for democracy at this point. Jennifer writes. How many of us have been saying this, and for how long? How long have you known this? This is not a question of left or right. This is a question of fascism or representative democracy. And right now, fascism is on the ascendancy. You know this. We've watched it. And you see it under this son of a bitch, Trump. Jennifer concludes this way: it does not take much imagination to conclude Trump is attempting to escalate violence around the country so he can deploy the military. This is the conduct of a tin-pot dictator, someone resorting to violent suppression of our most closely cherished rights. More than ever, we should recognize that, as former Vice President Joe Biden put it, this is an election about the soul of our country and the survival of peaceful self-governance. Jennifer Rubin, today, Tuesday, at the Washington Post. Survival of this republic. This is where we are. We've been talking about this over and over and over again. And I swear to God, before this violence erupted, before the murders of black people, this seemingly endless, working backwards from George Floyd, this endless parade of black Americans who have been murdered by police, murdered by white people, murdered for nothing. And some of us kept saying over and over and over again, this is only going in one direction. We need to stop it. We need to stop it now. We need to put 10 million people in the streets peacefully. Just go into the streets and sit down. Don't march. Don't carry signs. There's no need to. We know what the issues are. Just sit down. And now there's no need to say, or there's no reason to say, I can't do that because I have a job to go to. No, you don't. 40 million of us are unemployed. Oh, I can't do it now because of COVID-19. Bullshit. Put your mask on. Put your gloves on. Put a goddamn blanket over your head. Whatever it takes. Sometimes the operation of the machine becomes so odious, so vile, so disgusting, that we have to throw ourselves on the gears to make it stop. Hey, Truth Seekers, Mike Malloy here. While you're sheltering in place and practicing safe social behavior, probably catching up on the Malloy cast, remember, we have a new weekly program just for our patron supporters. There are other thank you gifts for your support. Remember, visit MikeMalloy.com and click on the big patron link on the main page. You can't miss it, and we can't do without you.